Let's freaking go. Yes, I am in Fayetteville. Yes, it is currently 4:45 in the morning. I have not slept. Rewatching this game over, it is amazing, right? So let's start off with probably my favorite play call of the night. Just to get things going, right? Let's get the football to our best, most explosive offensive player. Look at Trades Green blocking down the field, and Mason Taylor's got this guy in a phone booth. Really nice gain here on first down. You got to freaking love it. Okay, I want to show you the 2nd and 3 run, okay? This doesn't look too impressive right here from Caden Durham. We had a few snap infractions. So I want you to watch this. For some reason, we're not getting the cleanest timing and get off for whatever reason. This was a false start penalty. We were a little early there, but they're going to let that go. So we get a good block here to the second level. Garrett Dellinger misses his block here, but I want you to see what Taylon Green does. Obviously, the guy who actually ends up making this play is Emory Jones. We talked about him last week having issues getting play side of players. This time he does get play side, and he seals this in to the outside, and he also has this edge guy sealed off as well just by making that block. But this is what Caden Durham has to do. He's got to get as skinny as he can to Emory Jones behind, because Dellinger's missing this block to the backside. And look at how quickly and smooth this was done right here from Caden Durham. Okay, he just finds that little crease, and then he takes on the punishment from Emory Jones, and he keeps pulling forward. That is just really good running. And this is basically what we're going to do to teams, right? If you want to play quarters and just play off of our guys, Garrett is just going to play pitch and catch all day. And we'll take that with Kyron, because Garrett throws with so much anticipation that Kyron can make you miss and pick up yardage after the catch. And I want you to see this right here. He gets tackled low and pops right back up. Really good stuff. LSU's run blocking was a lot better this game. It just really was. DJ Chester, good job sealing this DT. Oh, man, that's just really good stuff from him. We're pulling our guys around. We got Caden Durham right here in the hole. That's really good stuff. But the bottom line, if you want to play off of our guys, we're just going to play pitch and catch. That's it. And since Garrett throws with such great anticipation, he's just going to make this guy miss every single time. I mean, it's just really, really, really good football right there from Kyron, and we pick up a first down. And this is really, really, really sexy stuff from Joe Sloan. So we get a pre-snap motion to give a man coverage indicator. And, a minute ago, we pulled our right guard and we ran the football. This time we're pulling our right guard off the play action, and we're taking a deep shot. And, man, C.J. Daniel last year, it was a violation of epic proportions. And guess what? Garrett Nussmeier says, hey, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw this football to CJ. And, man, this is just a really, really good throw from Garrett Nussmeier. And this, honestly, is an elite play from this corner. If you get beat deep, tackle him. Okay? Once again, CJ Daniels has had probably the most unlucky LSU wide receiver season I can remember. Right? Pass interferences, just near misses. I mean, it's been the case all season, and he gets our first red zone points here with that penalty. All right, here we go, 1st and 10. So this is really good stuff from Garrett Nussmeier. I am honestly blown away how quickly he reads this. So we're running a slot fade here with Aaron Anderson, and Garrett is just reading this corner. If this corner elects to run with Aaron Anderson on the slot fade, Garrett is throwing the deep comeback here to CJ. It's really, really, really sexy offense. Like, that is really good. Garrett saw that this corner was creeping over the top of Aaron, and he's just going to throw this. I mean, I don't know if he's just guessing, but the fact that he's able to read that quickly is really good stuff. All right, 2nd and Tchoupitoulas. I mean, this is a really, really good run. Force their defensive ends, if they rush upfield like this, we're going to make them pay with running underneath it. What happens here is this backer gets too tight. He's responsible for this backside B gap, and this basically becomes a foot race right here with Caden Durham. This is really, really, really good stuff from Caden, making this guy miss. And now this is Jaden Johnson. He's a pretty decent safety for Arkansas, but versus an actual NFL playmaker in Caden Durham, he doesn't have a shot. Right, and Caden Durham scores. I mean, it's just ridiculous running back play.
let's go. T.
Damian Ramos now to kick the extra point for LSU.
Tigers, let's go.
All right, let's move ahead here to this red zone stop. And by the way, if you want to see more defensive reps, we're most going to do offensive reps because I still have a long drive ahead of us. All the big-time defensive reps outside of this one, I've already done the Arkansas film study on the SEC channel, so make sure you go check it out. Okay, so this is really, really, really exotic stuff, and I want to actually show you the play, and man, we laid some lumber in this game, some clean lumber as well. So the guy who actually makes this play is Parashand. Okay, so this is just ridiculously high football IQ. So we're stacking these guys, and what happens here is we only end up bringing these three, right? He drops back into coverage right here, and we're bringing Parashand right up the gut. We're twisting both of our ends to the inside, and the new contained defenders become these outside guys. Now, what is the extra benefit of this? Well, our contained defenders have enough foot speed to keep up with Taylor Green, right? We have Xavier Atkins, who's probably our fastest linebacker, and Whit Weeks, who's also a playmaker. So we take Greg Penn out, and we increase the amount of speed. Now, what happens here is Taylor Green is dead to rights, right? So these two guys do a good job cutting to the inside and giving our guys an outside free run at the QB, okay? Now, should we make this play? Yes, but look at how much ground he has to give right here just to get around Xavier Debo Atkins. Most quarterbacks are getting out of that, even if they aren't truly fast. We want them to do that. Now, Parashand makes the play, right? Because he decides to flatten out, right? He knows that he's probably not going to make the sack. So we just need you to flatten out and force him to go as close to the sideline as possible, right? He's obviously never catching Taylor Green, but the fact that he's here forces Taylor Green to tuck and run and not just sit here and hope for somebody to open itself up. Too often, DTs try and get upfield and make the play. He did a good job, obviously, forcing some pressure to get him out of here. And that's just really, really, really good defense, good assignment football, and we force a field goal in which they missed. Obviously, people have different opinions on Garrett in this game. Obviously, 224, no tutties, but he was actually, to me, fine, right? This wasn't an elite Garrett game, but he was so good on third down. He sees the man coverage assignment here, and him and Aaron's chemistry is so good right now. Obviously, he could hit Mason on the in-breaker here, but this is what we want. And Aaron makes a really good catch, and he also keeps his feet, right? That is excellent stuff. This is Danico Slaughter, a very experienced player from Tennessee. And Aaron Anderson also makes Metcalf miss, who was SEC Player of the Week a few weeks ago. Really, really, really good stuff. So here's some video I shot of the game, and this is the deep ball to Kyron Lacey that we missed. And honestly, we should have put this team away by halftime. We left some points, obviously, in the red zone. This is one we have to have, and I don't know exactly why our deep ball accuracy has just been off. This is a good job by Kyron, just turning this corner over. And obviously, you want to throw this football to that opposite hash, but the ball is just thrown too vertically and just too far for Kyron to make a play on it. Let's get to this 3rd and 2, and God, this is just really good stuff from Kyron. It's a good patient route, and you can run really patient routes when you really trust your protection and your QB. This is honestly really good protection, okay? Now, obviously Garrett knows that he can back out, and know that Kyron's going to be here on the shallow drag. Honestly, the protection wasn't that great. We're giving up a lot of interior pressure right here. And, yeah, we actually get beat pretty badly up the middle here with our right guard and our center, okay? But Garrett knows he can give ground and hit this shallow drag. So that's really, really, really good stuff from Garrett, helping out our protection, okay? Really good stuff. Right, so 3rd and 6 here, and we do get away with one. I think this is a mixed bag for me on this rep. So once again, we're working the whip route here with Aaron Anderson, and he absolutely shakes Danico Slaughter yet again. Okay, so it's good finding that matchup and still just abusing it until they do something else. It's a good job by Aaron right here. Aaron would tell you he would like to make that guy miss cleaner, but still he makes the first down. Now, do we get a little bit of holding luck here? We do. I could see this be holding right here by Caden Durham. This is a defensive tackle going up against a running back. Is this a tug right here? Yeah, I think that has to be whistled, but I'll take it. Now, I understand Garrett gave ground to allow that whip to go through, but, right here, this will come off a little critical, but Garrett, I also think, didn't need to back out right here. I understand backing out to give yourself a better angle to throw this ball to Aaron, because if you step up here, it could get batted down. So I get what he was doing, but I could also see a world where if you want, you can step up into this and run through here, right? But nevertheless, we got lucky there that they didn't call the holding. We just did, and you just live to fight another day. All right, 3rd and 8, and there is a Patreon study on this play. So go to patreon.com/LSU football. I have a big problem with a certain aspect of this play, but the bottom line here is this throw by Garrett Nussmeier under heavy pressure should have been caught, and look at where it was placed. Y'all, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Aaron's going to wish he would have caught that. It's a difficult catch, but still. Okay, so we did a Patreon study on this last week. I don't mind our defensive tackles being active, but Gio Paez, you never want to jump 2 gaps over unless that's the stunt call. And you'll see he's in a 3-tech, the outside shoulder of this guard, and he ends up on the outside shoulder of the center. Okay, so it opens up 2 gaps that Whit Weeks has to account for, and Paez is just over-penetrated and out of the hole. Okay, so Greg Penn gets credit for the strip, as he should, but the guy who actually makes this play is Jordan Gilbert, right? Dominion has been a not-so-great running back in the SEC efficiency-wise. The only reason this play was made from Penn is that he was able to hit him so square, right? Notice this running back has a almost full head of steam running through here, and Jordan Gilbert just bang right there. So that stoppage allowed Greg Penn to really get a clean punch right here. Okay, that's it. That's the bottom line. So Jordan Gilbert, another really solid game from him, and we get a turnover. Okay, it was really poor quarterbacking from Garrett Nussmeier. Okay, so what they decide to do is they line up in what looks to be too high, but this actually becomes a robber coverage. So he sinks center field, and this guy becomes a robber for in-breakers coming over the middle. Okay, so I don't know if Garrett saw it, per se, but you cannot stare down any in-breaker at all, or just really anything over the middle with a robber right here. Okay, so if you're Garrett, we want to make this a more manageable field goal. You can hit this check down right here to Josh Williams, okay? Or what you could do is run, okay? Remember last week, man coverage. If it's man coverage across the way and their backs are turned, look at this. Look at this alley for you to run through. Let's not force it and stare down a target, and this ball should have been picked. It should have been picked. That's a really bad throw. And one thing we should be very happy about is actually that the guy actually went for the pick or instead of the medicine ball shot, right? He could have easily led with the shoulder right into one of our really good receivers, CJ Daniels. It's just a bad ball. Hit that check down. Josh knows he was open, and Josh might have scored. It would have been close. 3rd and 4. Good day for Trades Green, right? So, once again, it's CJ Daniels. He's so good at getting other people open. He really sells this bunch. So, we just want to create as much traffic as we possibly can for Trades to run underneath it, and that's exactly what happens. So, Garrett is able to wait. Obviously, with a guy like Trades, you don't have as much chemistry. He's able to wait and hit it. What else is good about this play is, offense is good when you're getting multiple people open, all right? And guess what? On this spot, Caleb Jackson was not covered, okay? So when multiple guys are being open, once again, that was just a really bad coverage bust assignment there. You're running some good offense. So once again, we did a Patreon film study on this play as well. So go to Patreon. One big concern I have for LSU film-wise, and Garrett, this is just ridiculous playmaking ability on this 3rd and 6. So he rolls out to the right side, and look at where he actually puts this football for Mason Taylor. Now look at this catch for Mason Taylor. Holy crap. That is ridiculous football from both of these guys, dude. Unfreaking believable stuff. Get up, Mason. Show me some energy, Mason. Show it to me, baby. Let's go. It was 3rd and 6, and man, I am shocked Bobby Petrino tried to do this again, okay? He actually ran this versus LSU last year for a critical 2-point conversion, and it should have worked. It was just bad quarterbacking. This probably works too. I'm not able to see the back end, but what he's doing here is he's actually running a triple mesh. So it's a drag here, drag here, drag here, and a shallow drag going this way. And he's going to be so frustrated that this didn't work again because the right tackle over here overset. So we'll go ahead and just we'll start with the protection here. 76 just gets beat. Savion Jones had another really good game for LSU. And he was just so massive in 2022 as well. And that gives JVR Suggs this sack right here. Okay. Now, would something have opened up here? Probably. This DB is trailing. I would love to see. Yeah, this is probably open. Okay. Yeah, that's probably open. It just depends. Like, if we had a wider angle, if Talon could have had that. But the protection broke down, and you have to take a long field goal. All right, y'all. It is time to celebrate true greatness. It's Whit Weeks, y'all. This is ridiculous. And honestly, it's just a truly stupendous play. Remind you of that other number 40 in 2022 versus Arkansas. That's how special of a game this was from Whit. Honestly, when you really think about this game, it's 16-10, right? Arkansas feels lucky that they're still in it. We weren't able to finish drives. And what's really spectacular about this is this was actually just sound offense. RPO read, Ashton Stamps playing off of Andrew Armstrong. This is going to be a nice game for them of 6, 7, 8 yards. Nice play on first down with some momentum going their way after scoring on a field goal. And it's Whit Weeks and Major Burns that teams up to make this play, but obviously it was mostly Whit Weeks. Would he have scored here if Major didn't go out to reach this football? I don't know. But he tried it. It would have been nice for Whit. But, kind of reminds you of Tyrann Mathieu making that play versus Geno Smith. And he gets tackled at the 1-yard line. And look at this. This is absolutely crazy to undo the keg or shotgun the beer. That is absolutely insane, man. Abso-freaking-lutely insane. Wow. And here's another angle to truly appreciate how ridiculous this was. Timed his jump perfectly. Bats the ball directly in the air. And now he's just got to find it and make a play. It's just dudes making plays, man. That's all it is. What a play. What a freaking play. And then, of course, it's just smash mouth tackle football from here. Bring in all these tight ends, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of this, as many of you know, but we bring in Pimpton, bring in Giovanni Peterson, okay, a walk-on. I've always liked Giovanni. Bring in Bo Borderline, who's an offensive lineman converted to a blocking tight end, and then Mason Taylor. And, man, that's actually it was Borderline who made this. No. It was Peterson's block. That's actually really good stuff right there for Giovanni. Gets down on his knees to make sure this gets blocked, and it's a good job by actually Pimpton on the edge, too. Everybody did a good job on this play. Really good stuff. All right, so this 2-point conversion play shows you why Trez Green is a monster, right? Overall, he had the third down conversion. Our targets to him were somewhat inefficient. We had an RPO that was batted down. That could have been a huge gainer. I got batted down at the line of scrimmage, and then we had a few other missed targets. We had one in the red zone where we overthrew him. I have all 22 shots from, me filming the game. Not going to include those. Just because it's just so late. The funny thing about this is, everything is just kind of dead here. We're just kind of running these stops in hoping that Kyron's doubled and we can get a one-on-one on the back. And this is a really good throw from Garrett Nussmeier. Top shelf it to the 6'6" tight end. And he takes an extra shot, and it does nothing to him. Stares him down. Good stuff, Trades, baby. Red zone nightmare already. Good stuff. Y'all, this is big time right here from Garrett Nussmeier. Okay, it's 2nd and 8, and this throw was made all the way to Covington. Okay, so he starts off looking down the middle and actually makes this cross hash throw. Like, this is something Jaden was really good at this. Far hash, this is a long throw, right? So think the NFL hashes are thinner, and if you're making this cross field with the guy in your face, okay, Mason gets, push-pulled here, and this is such a long developing play that protection is still good. And Garrett, with a guy right here, throws this cross-field ball. Look at the location of it. That is really, really, really sexy stuff. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, 2nd and 7. Play action fake. This is a good job by Garrett. Seeing that they're bringing a lot of pressure here. This is even better protection. This is excellent. This is like as good as it gets. Y'all, Caden Durham might be our best pass protector too. That's a good job by Mason on Landon Jackson. And, Kyron's over here getting abused. Okay. Easy pass interference, and it's a first down. Okay. Good job. Good active sideline. You love to see the vibes. You really, really, really do. First down, baby. Let's go. This is just really, really good quarterbacking again from Garrett Nussmeier. No, I hit the microphone. So he steps up into this pocket right here, and it doesn't look like anything's open. So you get a 3-man rush, and now Garrett has a chance to run if he wants to. Could throw it to Kyron if he wants to, but he finds Mason open here. It's just really, really, really good stuff. And Mason, man, that's a good job making Slaughter miss to gain a few extra yards. All right, so we burn a timeout for this 3rd and 5. And this is honestly a good job by Sam Pittman. All right, we get a little out-coached here. So we call a timeout, and you can see that this team knows on 3rd and mediums that we like to run the football. We are never really going to get this run look, a box this heavy on a 3rd and 5, but we're coming out of a timeout. You don't want to burn another timeout, and obviously there's a lot of equity in the field goal to make it a 3-possession game. So for me in this spot, we're never going to pick up the yards with these box numbers. We just aren't, unless Caden Durham's going to do something special. I would like to see us check into a pass here, right? They are selling out versus a run. And if you're a diehard LSU football fan, you know for certain that we like to run on 3rd and medium in this extended red zone area, right? We've won a lot of football games, including the Ole Miss game last week, with this very concept. Because if you don't pick it up, you're going to get a good 4th down opportunity. But this needs to be a check into a pass, right? If they're going to do this and bring their safeties into this box right here, this needs to be an auto go, and then the receivers cut off here and an auto go right there or something, right? We can't just run into box numbers like this. I know it looks like it's bad blocking. It's really not. Could Chester have made a better block right there? Sure. But, we just got to check into a pass. But I understand coming out of a timeout, wanting the clock to burn a full 40, and kick the field goal to make it a 3-possession game. But I would have liked to have seen a check into a pass. And it was a good job by the coaching staff. So Sloan says, look, if you're going to sell out to stop the run, which you have to here to get the football back and you're down by a gazillion, guess what we're going to do? We're going to split zone you, okay? 3rd and 2, and guess what? They're actually out here to stop it. But the funny thing about this is LSU puts so many hurdles in their split zone game, right? You not only have to defend Mason in the flat, you also have to get around CJ here, and all Garrett has to do is just get this football out to Mason, and the corner force him to make a tackle versus a bigger guy. He's not about that life, and Mason Taylor picks up the first down. That's really, really, really good stuff right in front of the strength coach, Jake Flynn. Good stuff. All right, so we get to hear Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, this is crazy stuff right here from Aaron Anderson. Okay, 3rd and 7. Our blitz pickup was really good, and that's what Travis Williams does. He loves to blitz. He loves to get exotic, and we were just ready for it, right? And look at this catch from Aaron Anderson. This dude's hands are freaking vice grips. I know he wasn't able to make that catch earlier, but the sign of a good athlete is the ability to just pop right back up. Look at that. Like it's nothing. I mean, the dude is so smooth. Look at this. Look at how smooth this is, baby. So smooth. Huh? As you can see, I'm pretty delirious staying up all night cutting this. Good stuff, Aaron. Hold it out for as long as you can. And this is what's crazy to me from Arkansas's vantage point, okay? You can blitz all you want, all right? They were a huge tackle for loss and sack team. They only had 1 tackle for loss and obviously no sacks because Garrett just doesn't take sacks. The ball just comes out of his hands too quickly. And this is what happens when you play like these. Jared Goff is really good at this at the next level. Like, Garrett's not going to be the absolute most spectacular quarterback that you'll ever face. But if you just blitz him, that's kind of what he wants you to do, right? You know, what's the point in blitzing a quarterback that gets the football out so fast, right? That's just one less guy back in coverage. And when you blitz, you know, you can't really play on someone because, you know, it can get by you. And Garrett's really good at finding the off-coverage matchup here. That's basically what LSU did in this game, right? You're not going to get a lot of explosives, but, you know, you got to respect, you know, all these receivers' ability to get over the top. I mean, it's just really, really good offense. Okay, once again, Caden Durham. This is just, like, it's really, really, really nuanced running. Okay, so we're running counter G, Y. Okay, so we're pulling a guard, pulling the tight end, all right? So what's very interesting about this from Caden is he presses here, and then he reads to see where this end is, and he sees that the butt pad of the puller, that's a good job by Miles Frazier, that's really good stuff, is to the outside, so he bounces it, right? And because he's more diminutive, it's a really hard tackle, and he breaks through all these tackles right here and falls forward for these extra yards. And this is what Brian Kelly was really talking about, you know, these 8-minute drives that you really, really, really have to, you know, stop. And, man, it's just smash mouth tackle football. You love to, and you could see just in the sideline that Brian Kelly was happy to see his team play a full four quarter game. This is a good job right here by Bo Bordelon. Granted, this team's soul has been snatched from their body. When they punted on 4th and 15, down 27, or down 17, everyone started leaving the stadium. They knew it was over, right? Because what's the point in trying if Caden Durham is on the other sideline? Nasty stuff from Will, but you can kind of feel that this team kind of was starting to give up. And obviously Caden Durham falls forward. And then eventually we do pound this biatch in. Really good stuff. I mean, look at this. 13 plays, 79 yards, 8 minutes, 12 seconds left on the clock. It's just smash mouth tackle football. That's all it is. Look at this. Okay, and what's funny about this is Big 95er is a big boy, is able to get some push on DJ Chester, and it still doesn't matter. Caden Durham sees it, feels it out, and he actually runs through this 400-pounder, whatever he is, and he gets in. It is ridiculous running back play. Look at Garrett. Look at Bo Borderline on the finish here. That's gross. You'll love to see it, man. You really do. So, before we get to these final few wild plays, let's talk about Garrett Nussmeier and this offense, because this really was a Caden Durham show. I mean, the run to really set the tone for a 7-0 game after the penalty on the Mason Taylor kind of clear out offensive pass interference was really spectacular, right? And it's amazing how Caden Durham has made our defense better just by starting these games off so fast, right? You know, he was responsible for, honestly, a good chunk of that first touchdown drive, and then as the game just wore on, he just kept making play after play after play. It was also good to see Caleb get some good runs mixed in there as well. Garrett Nussmeier, no touchdown passes, 22 or 33, but you saw some really good third down drive extenders, a few spectacular catches that could have been made, and then obviously it would have been a deep touchdown to C.J. Daniels. You would have loved to have seen him hit that deep shot to Kyron Lacey as well. And you take a look at this wide receiver room, you see what C.J. is able to do for this room, getting other guys open, but he himself also catching the football on comebacks, deep stuff. It's just a really, really good thing to see. And it's going to be interesting how they use Trey Green moving forward. Obviously, it was an up-and-down game for him with a good 2-point conversion there at the end. So, good day for the LSU receivers. Now, before we get into the defense, I want to talk about a very underrated but also mind-blowing stats. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the final numbers, and then we'll get into these final few crazy defensive plays. So, as you can see, LSU really dominated this game, 25 first downs to 15 first downs. You do want to limit the penalties. We didn't spend too much time on this. Obviously, 11 penalties for 80 yards is something you want to avoid. You want to, limit those mistakes. But LSU, 226 pass yards, 158 rush yards. Brian Kelly, of course, pretty happy with the ability to run the football. And these long drives really killed Arkansas. We just completed so many third and mediums, and 8 of 14 on third down. Those are some tough third down conversions that Garrett Nussmeier was able to complete. Give Aaron Anderson and the crew a lot of credit for that. Now, you take a look at that yard per play number. That's obviously a number that we want to be a little bit higher. 5.4 is not anything to write home about, but that's just kind of how this game went, right? We had a lot of short fields because of Arkansas's turnovers and a lot of goal line runs, methodical drives. So that 5.4 number can be just a little bit misleading to a certain extent. So, especially if you include the C.J. Daniels pass interference, our yard per play goes way up if you have that. And then, of course, the 0 in the sack column is really freaking good. But I want to talk about a stat that we honestly don't talk a whole lot about, and it's just the raw play total. See in the background, LSU forcing yet another turnover from Isaiah Satania, whose parents actually played track and field at LSU. We don't talk a whole lot about raw plays, and there's something pretty bizarre that happened to LSU's raw play total. And by plays, it's just how many plays do you run offensively, and obviously plays you run defensively is how many times the offense runs a play. Okay, so this honestly blew my mind, and it's going to actually make a lot of you feel a lot better about going to Texas A&M next week in a back-to-back road game scenario. So this has kind of been known as a Power Hour SEC and Power Hour LSU stat. Only really the best of the best teams are able to win back-to-back road games in the SEC, which means you go on the road one week, and then the very next week you go on the road. And it's tougher to do this in theory if you have a late game like LSU has here. Now, they'll have a late game for Texas A&M, which will help them out because they have a bye, the next week, so it really doesn't matter. So they're going to have the full week to really rest up, and obviously they didn't get back into Baton Rouge until probably about 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm going to run through the raw number of plays that LSU has played in each and every game defensively. Because remember, this is not the deepest LSU unit. Now, their defensive end room kind of deep, but whatever. You see Dylan Carpenter right there drawing a holding penalty, or it should have been a holding penalty, and then you get a drop INT right here. So, versus USC, the Trojans ran 60 offensive plays versus Nichols. Nichols ran 60 offensive plays. The next game versus South Carolina, the Gamecocks ran 61 plays. The next week, LSU played UCLA. The Bruins ran 63 plays. The next week, LSU played South Alabama. They ran 58 plays. So it went 60, 60, 61, 63, 58. And then versus Ole Miss, this number catapulted up to 84. Now, I know it was an overtime game, but even before overtime, Ole Miss had ran 80 offensive plays because they go that much faster, right? Which in theory means you're going to be tired, and that game was a lot more competitive than this one, right? You see Michael Turner, who's actually a wide receiver. He was recruited to play wide receiver, but they moved him to DB. You don't like to see him drop that pass, okay? So I want you to guess, whoever you are watching this right now, how many plays did LSU run? Like a Corey Raymond in the background? How many plays did Arkansas run versus LSU? Well, believe it or not, the Hogs only ran 50 plays. 50 plays, okay? So, you average that out, 84 and back down to 50. What's the median of that? 80. I should have done this beforehand. Comes up to about like 62 and a half, 63 plays. And you got to factor in like the... Actually, no, it's a little bit higher than that. Would it be? I don't know. It's too late for me to be thinking this. But the LSU defense got to rest the entire fourth quarter, basically, right? Thanks to Whit Weeks and the turnovers that Arkansas had and all of that. So because Arkansas really didn't make LSU work in this game, right? This game went by pretty fast. It was over in a blink of an eye. You would have to feel pretty good about LSU going on the road and playing Texas A&M, right? I would feel, and obviously anything's wacky in the SEC, but I don't know about you guys. Let me know if I'm overrating this. I actually feel a lot better about LSU going on the road and playing A&M just from a fear exhaustion standpoint. The fact that you only had to play 50 plays and you really didn't play 50 defensively, like you saw all those garbage time reps, that is absolutely positively redunculous, right? And why did you only have to run 50 plays? Because you made them one-dimensional, right? Arkansas had a few nice drives in this game, right? They missed field goals and all of that, but a lot of it is Caden Durham, right? You just jump it out to that quick lead. Arkansas really couldn't get their Jaquinda Jackson run game going. Also, I want to show some love to Sage Ryan. Of course, he had the big hit that was rightfully overturned, and then he had a nice pass deflection. He was our most improved player, so make sure you check out our Patreon, okay? Now, before we get into this final topic, as always, I am guessing right now, whoever you might be watching this late at night, one of you is going to drop a Venmo, Cash App, or Super Thanks right now. If you're watching this on a Premiere Live, I'm sure one of you are going to step up and do it. Let's talk about the college football playoff picture. Why not? Basically, LSU is still in the same spot, right? Just don't lose 2 games. And if you beat A&M, you're obviously in a better spot. But, I mean, honestly, Florida looked meaningful. Their superstar true freshman quarterback's going to be playing a lot better by the end of the season. Obviously, Vanderbilt is Vandy, and they're tricky. Ball State, whatever that was today. And obviously, Bama's Bama with an extra week to prepare. So, anything could happen. But the fact that you're able to get into this game, no meaningful injuries, I mean, this really was good to see LSU play their first 4-quarter dominant game, right? Arkansas obviously had their moments, but LSU was by far the dominant team, and this was definitely one of the better performances in the SEC this entire weekend. Now, obviously I'm biased because I actually went to this game, so I'm guessing I got to go to every LSU game the rest of the way, so I need to start packing my bags for College Station. Let's go. Yell leaders. I need to get me some overalls. Let's go. Special shout out to our partners in OPOD, Design Imaging 360 Spin Booth, and of course, the NoOffSeason.com network. Appreciate all the PHLs. Had a few PHLers stop us here in Fayetteville. That was certainly fun as well. We had a little get together as well. That was Really, really, really cool stuff, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. And, of course, I wanted to end on this run. Look at how special this run is, man. 10 is actually not a bad linebacker. Xavier Swords I think he's a solid player. I mean, this guy's just, Caden Durham, holy crap, is so freaking good, man. So much nuance in this game for a true freshman. God, what a run. Special, 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 special. So, if you watch the live stream, my wife is over here sleeping. We actually did end up getting the Taco Bell. So right when I ended, and you got to go watch it on the live stream, whatever. The Taco Bell, literally the lady knocked the door and the Taco Bell was here. I swear. So tonight we are doing some cheesy gordita crunches. And what is this with Taco Bell? They have good fries now. Like fries. Taco Bell. Fries. Caden Durham, dude. Can't get over it, man. Oh, look at these. I didn't know he was wearing the knee braces, man. He is quite literally built different. Crazy stuff. Survived a horse collar, too. Let's freaking go. Now, if you want to see more LSU defensive reps, bang. This video is floating in your face right now. Let's go.